Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 4112. Maybe I'm not really sure about the exact number. Today's date is June 19, 2026. It's been almost like a morning at exactly 7:07 a.m. Well, it's been June 19 and the monsoon is haven't arrived, and that's a kind of like I don't know. Yeah, I was kind of like a thinking that ki monsoon should supposed to be arrived, but basically just couple of days ago there is a couple of rain, but just a fraction, just nothing really at all. And right now there is no rain at all. And by the way, the all the kind of like a media and everything kind of like a suggests that this year rain will gonna fall very less in India because of the kind of like a El Nino, super El Nino, and the trade wind and things and that. So basically, it's the monsoon is like a. I'm hoping that something should supposed to be fall. Like at least like I don't know. I'm not expecting too much, but rain should supposed to be happen, dude. Yeah, I just like yeah. I'm hoping it's just a 19th of June. Probably would be like it kind of like a simply the kind of like the monsoon cloud, specifically rain will gonna happen at the end of the June. The weather forecasts are kind of like a saying that it's actually arrive, like I actually live in kind of like a central part of India, and probably it will gonna arrive, probably would be end of the June or last week of June probably. I'm hoping for that this would gonna happen. Yeah. All right. So should we ask question? Okay, let's go. All right. So question is, what? Sorry, who can help me see things differently? Okay. So what is exactly is this thing? Who can help me see things very differently means what? Okay. First of all, what exactly is this question, and why am I asking this question to myself? Couple of days ago, I read a book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, and basically I wanted to implement the value that book taught me. How do I supposed to do that? By asking question to myself and giving the honest answer. So I went to ChatGPT. I kind of like said that this is the book that I read. I wanted to implement the value. Suggest me 20 question. ChatGPT kind of like a suggest me 20 question, and this is one of those questions. By the way, the question actually in the mobile phone, but because while in the recording I cannot able to do anything at all, so that's why I wrote the question over here. All right. So regarding about this question, this is a very like a really good question. Okay, yeah. Let me understand this question even more better. Okay, yeah. The question says, who can help me see things differently? See things differently means what? What is exactly is this kind of like some stuff? Okay, so I wanted to kind of like clarify something. Okay, not clarify. I'm trying to explain you something. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's just say that you kind of like a something. Let's just say you make a YouTube video. Okay, you make a YouTube video, and you kind of like say that before you kind of like publish your YouTube video to the public, you kind of like somebody send a link to your friend and say that give me your honest recommendation regarding about the video. Okay, how you feel and things and that particular person, like the close friend. Oh yeah, and that close friend will kind of like give you the kind of like somebody recommendation that is this good, is this not good, and things and that. Okay, now if you do this thing, first of all, is it right or is it wrong? Should I supposed to be kind of like somebody send my video before I wanted to public? Should I supposed to be kind of like send my video to my friend and kind of like let him kind of like see the video and things and that? Can I able to do this thing, or basically if I do this thing, is it right or wrong, or what exactly is this thing? uh Okay, I'm gonna tell you specifically regarding about the YouTube point of perspective. Okay, yeah. Then I will kind of like a move to the other. All right. Yeah. So let's just say I kind of like a make a video in a YouTube platform regarding about something. Let's just say a vlog. Okay, yeah, a vlog. I made a video vlog and things and that, and I kind of like a send a video to my friend that he kind of like a suggest me is it video is really good and things and that. Now your condition is that you haven't really made a video. This is the first time you made a video. Okay, and you try to put effort from your point of perspective to how you're supposed to make the good video as good as possible. You don't really have that many skills, by the way. You just kind of like went into the vlog, you try to attach clips after clips and try to kind of like make a video as good as possible from your end possible. Okay, yeah. Now you are putting effort, so let's just say your effort is 100 out of 100 because you put a lot of effort to make the video. Okay, yeah. Now another thing, because of you are kind of like doing this thing first time, obviously that video does not gonna does not make well, like there is a lot of flaws and things and that, but because of you are kind of like making this first time, so it's a kind of like a very much kind of like somebody is saying this is a raw and things and that. Now you put the lot of effort, so you put the effort 100%. You kind of like a think that the video is really good and things and that. Now you kind of like a recommend your video to your friend. Now basically let's just kind of like a thing from your friend point of perspective. Oh yeah, your friend did not put any kind of like effort. He just kind of like a watching your video, nothing really at all. Okay, now basically what is actually is this thing, you are kind of like a make a video regarding about vlog. Obviously you made a first time, so your quality is not really that good. Now your friend who watch already a vlog, like let's just say he already watch a kind of like a vlog about David Dobrik vlog and things and that, and which is kind of like a highly popular and things and that. Okay, so your friend is a try to compare your video with David Dobrik video, because David Dobrik video is a kind of like a video that he watched a lot. Okay, now he is try to compare the quality of David Dobrik video to your video, and then you kind of like then he kind of like say this thing, then he kind of like find a flaws, dude, that there is no background music, there is no kind of like a things, there is no music, there is nothing really at all. He kind of like give all those kind of like things and that. Okay, yeah. Now if your friend is a kind of like giving that, like comparing your video with the David Dobrik video, so obviously he would kind of like find a lot of flaws and things and that, and he would kind of like tell that, dude, like I don't really like this, I don't really like that, I don't really like this. Even if he is a kind of like somebody judging your video from kind of like somebody just a objective point of perspective, not as a friend point of perspective, but he has his own kind of like identity. He kind of like somebody try to compare the things. Why does he try to compare? Because this is what kind of like not just he but everyone, we are all are human, and we are kind of like a find something like determine the credibility of some certain thing regarding about the comparison. Like this particular person is really good, then how is that good? Like basically we need a kind of like a particular people who is not really that good, then he is become really good, so that's why he's become better. Okay, we kind of like we are kind of like define the credibility regarding about the comparison, not a kind of like somebody their effort and things and that. Okay, and everyone, every human, you and me, everyone kind of like do the same thing. Okay, yeah. So basically he is kind of like judging your video from objective point of perspective, that this is that, this is that, this is that, this is that. Now you try to fix that thing. Okay, yeah. Then you kind of like do this, your friend, you kind of like you kind of like did everything, and you kind of like somebody show your friend to this guy, like now is really good. Then he still might gonna say, yeah, okay, but like there is a kind of like a flaws, but still it's good, you can easily upload. Now you kind of like upload the video. Okay, now what is actually happened? Okay, first of all, this is the kind of like something everything actually happened. Now tell me, like what is it wrong, is it right, is it kind of like something that the problem is that it's kind of like a things that you are kind of like expecting validation from your friend. Okay, that you made a kind of like a good video or not. Okay, yeah. And your friend might kind of like give you that okay, you kind of like made a really good video, but there is a lot of kind of like things he might be convinced, he might not that. Why, what exactly is this thing, why is that? Because let me tell you one thing now. I'm telling you from YouTube point of perspective. Okay, that key YouTube videos, or you are kind of like uploading videos on YouTube platform, it's not meant to be kind of like a perfect, or it's not meant to be kind of like a your video is a kind of like that video, or a kind of like a equivalent to the Mr. Beast video, or equivalent to the David Dobrik video, or equivalent to kind of like a whatever the kind of like a things and that and that. It's not. When you make a video, you represent your personality, you represent your thought process. You are already a different person, because you are not a David Dobrik. You are not a you are not a kind of like a somebody like a Mr. Beast. You are not a kind of like a things. Even if you kind of like a try to make a video like the way that those people make it, but your personality, your thoughts, or your presentation is always be different, because you are a different person. You are a different person. Okay. And YouTube is not meant to be that ki you should supposed to be follow some certain creator regarding about those people are popular, so you just do it. No, don't do it. Don't do it, because you are kind of like then called, then other people will kind of like a called you as a kind of like a copy of that particular person, like a copy of Mr. Beast, or copy of David Dobrik, or copy of kind of like a somebody Bhuvan Bham, or things and that and that. Okay, don't do that. Okay. Your video always be not good at the beginning. Definitely not. Definitely like worse. Okay, literally worse. Okay, yeah. And this is kind of like a thing. And another thing is that na ki if you are kind of like expecting validation, you will not gonna get the validation. Okay, you might gonna get the validation from your friend that ki okay, you made a really good video, but it's not kind of like a really healthy for long term point of perspective, because YouTube is a long game. Like you are kind of like a getting the value or benefit of the earning money after the kind of like a 4 and 5 year of spending life and things and that on that career. 4 and 5 year of spending making videos on YouTube platform is not even easy, dude. Like just think about, you wake up every single day, you kind of like see the video almost like a 10 views and kind of like a somebody 2 likes and kind of like a 0 comment, and the way that kind of like a somebody the this dissatisfaction that you get when you wake up every single time, even if you put 100% effort to make a video, it cripple you from the inside. Every single day is kind of like a want you to give up the YouTube, and it is so easy to give up the YouTube, because like it doesn't really, you don't have to do anything at all. You just kind of like decided I don't have to do it, just that's it. Okay. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is this thing that he don't like the author is a kind of like a somebody say this thing that you could kind of like a somebody let your other kind of like a people judge your work, or not kind of like not judge, but kind of like a things that let them understand what you are doing and things and that. Okay, this might be kind of like a okay in a kind of like a something, I don't know, I'm not completely agree with this thing. Why is that? Why am I not agree with this thing? Well, am I agree? I'm not really sure, because I did that thing. Okay, I did. I'm specifically talking about the YouTube point of perspective. Okay, so when I started a YouTube, I was kind of like a something that he recommend my video to my friend. I before I publish, I kind of like send the link and kind of like said that dude, do you like the video or not, and things like that and that. He kind of like say, he obviously he's kind of like judging from objective point of perspective, not a personal point of perspective. Oh yeah, and which is kind of like a really good. But then I realized that am I making video for him, or am I making video for me? Okay, because let me tell you one thing now, YouTube is not kind of like a reward you how good your video. YouTube is kind of like a reward you that you make a video and be consistent for almost like a year. You improve the skills, people will kind of like a judge, people will kind of like a tell you, people, not a one particular person, a kind of like a people, your community, the way that your audience that they get, they will kind of like a tell you that is your video is really good or not, and things and that, and they will they are kind of like a very verified source that they will kind of like tell you, not one people, but kind of like a community of people kind of like tell you is it right or wrong. Okay, yeah. Listen to them, not a one particular person, because a one particular person might not kind of like judge your video properly, because like basically what is actually happened, it's not, I don't know, it's not, is it right, I'm not really sure. Probably some people might gonna agree, okay, yeah, this is good. Like if your friend is a kind of like a something that he's a social media manager or things, so he understand the content and things and that, or maybe that particular person is a kind of like already in a group in a kind of like a working at something, a kind of like a social media things and that, then that is okay. But I don't know, I'm not really sure about this thing, because it's a kind of like a very like very yeah. Yeah, so this is what it is. So basically, should I not recommend the video to my friend? Well, it's up to you. I am not like, obviously I'm not gonna kind of like tell you everything. If your friend you think that is really good enough, then do it. But trust me, being a YouTube or being a kind of like a somebody YouTuber, or like I am a kind of like basically I am kind of like a giving the opinion as a kind of like a somebody as a fail person, because I am kind of like a doing a YouTube for kind of like a last 5 year and kind of like a fail. I don't really have that many subscriber and things and that and that. How many subscriber do I have? Well, 1700 subscriber on YouTube platform, so nothing really at all. Okay, so basically is this thing that like, I don't know, if your friend is a credible means like that credible that he knows the content and things and that, then you could recommend. It's really good. He kind of like give you really good values and things and that. But in the end, YouTube is just kind of like somebody try to put the effort, consistency, and your community will kind of like tell you what is actually right and what is actually wrong regarding about everything. That is a kind of like some stuff. But this is because of the kind of like somebody YouTube. Okay, let's say a kind of like a somebody that key, like let's just say like take an example. Okay, yeah, I want to kind of like somebody build an application where people are kind of like a record the artifact like this, a kind of like a platform where people will kind of like a share their thoughts and things and that and that and that. So this is the kind of like a somebody application that I wanted to create, a platform, a social media platform and things and that and that. This is the kind of like I wanted to do this thing. Before I wanted to create, should I kind of like a somebody should I kind of like a somebody showcase to my friend that dude, this is the application that I want to make, what is actually your opinion and things and that. Now if your friend says, what would kind of like your friend says, your friend might gonna say, yeah, it's good, it's great, do it. Or maybe your friend might gonna say, yeah, it's good, it's great. Like, probably is this thing now, people usually kind of like somebody, they are not kind of like somebody say this thing that you are wrong, like not at least in front of your face. Okay, yeah, like basically they might gonna say, yeah, okay, really good. Like, what I'm trying to tell you is this thing that na ki, I don't know, might be like my opinion would be kind of like a thing is that na ki my, I don't know, like I kind of like a feel like I'm kind of like completely wrong and things. But I believe myself more than somebody. Okay, it's not really that I will not gonna believe somebody if that somebody is a kind of like a credible enough. Obviously I believe, okay, yeah, but I believe myself more. If my instinct telling me I have to be do this, I have to be do this, I will do this. Or maybe kind of like a somebody is saying that I will kind of like a talk to my kind of like a people, say that I wanted to do like that, and kind of like give me your opinion that how do I supposed to do this as perfect as possible as it can. Okay, yeah, it's that. Okay, yeah. Am I kind of like expecting validation from somebody? Um, I'm not expecting validation. I'm kind of like expecting that whatever the stuff that I'm doing should supposed to be happen as good as possible. Because there is also another thing is that you are putting effort, but you are kind of like thinking from your point of perspective. You're not thinking from other people point of perspective. Okay, so in that situation, the way that you created a content or whatever it would be kind of like something just your perspective and things. Does it work, does it not work? I'm not really sure. It's a very kind of like a vague term and kind of like a things. I don't know how do I supposed to kind of like understand this context and things and that. But in the future, okay, I have to be do so many things. Okay, so should I kind of like something the stuff that I wanted to do I look for other people that what is actually other people opinion or my people other people opinion and things, and they will kind of like tell me should I do that or not. I will like basically this thing, like the I will kind of like somebody getting the feedback from such a people who are already expert in this thing, already kind of like really good in this thing, and they will kind of like give me opinion and feedback. I will love the feedback, by the way. Okay, I will kind of like getting the feedback because it kind of like help me grow myself and things and that. Okay, yeah. but the credible people, not a kind of like a normal kind of like a people, a credible people who are already understand the context and things and the perspective. Okay, I will kind of like ask those people, and I need a kind of like a feedback from them, and when I get the feedback I will try to improve, and I will gonna implement the whatever the stuff that I will gonna do. Instead of kind of like a rely on friend, I will kind of like a simply rely on particular person who already credible in that thing. Okay, so I will gonna do that. Okay. The question, there is only one thing that kind of like a things that ki why this question actually appear, like why does, why like why what in the first thing, am I really required a kind of like a someone to kind of like a get me feedback and things and that like basically let's just say I am not a kind of like a particular person that would able to be afford a kind of like a credible people. I only have friend. Okay, yeah, and I need a feedback. So what do I supposed to do? Should I kind of like somebody send a video or things or that and that and that? Well, you could do that. Obviously, it's not like that key you couldn't do that. You do that. You kind of like a send the video to your friend, kind of like a get the feedback from that particular person. Yeah, it's good. It's great. It gonna definitely improve or add value. You might gonna grow faster. But try to understand that na ki you will not gonna kind of like simply lose yourself. What's a lose yourself? Imagine you put the effort of making video, and after that your kind of like a friend says, I don't like the background music, change the background music. So in that situation, what should you supposed to do? Because in your making the video, background music is a structure, is a bone of the your video, is a skeleton of your video. Every video clips are actually attached into that audio. So if you change the audio, you have to be change the entire video. So in that situation, should you do it? Or kind of like a somebody like, yeah, should you do it or not? It depends. Like this is what it is. This is what kind of like a thing. This is what kind of like a things that na ki like a effort is a kind of like a things other people does not know that ki how much I put the effort into that thing and that and that. It's very easy to people judge what is actually right and what is actually wrong, but it's a very difficult to kind of like a something that ki kind of like a somebody fixing that mistake and things. Because let me tell you one thing now, in an empty canvas you can kind of like a create a very good quality of painting, but when you already created a painting, then it's a kind of like a very difficult for you to kind of like a something fix that painting. Because when you already make a painting, it's very difficult to fix the painting, but it's very easy to kind of like a create another painting by blank canvas. And that is what it is. And also when you try to fix the kind of like a painting which is already painted, then it kind of like a create a stress, and even after you try to fix this thing, you still doubtful that ki, am I created right or wrong? Okay, so what is exactly my opinion regarding about that? It's my opinion, by the way. It's just my opinion. Mostly almost like a 99% of the people are kind of like a going through the problem regarding about specifically on YouTube videos and things and that, because YouTube video is a kind of like a simply represent emotions and personality and things and that and that. So basically this question is specifically referred to a kind of like a YouTube video and things and that. So I'm gonna kind of like a tell you from YouTube video point of perspective. Okay, yeah. That should I supposed to be kind of like a somebody get a feedback from my friend at the beginning? Do this. Okay, yeah. If your friend kind of like a give the understand the opinion or understand your effort and understand the kind of like somebody how the social media things and that, then do it. But uh but kind of like a things that na ki I don't know, yaar. Like basically this thing that ki regarding about this, my option like my opinion would be kind of like a very different. Like my opinion would be that just upload the video, and since you kind of like focus on consistency, when you focus on consistency you develop yourself, you understand what's exactly wrong, and your community will kind of like tell you what's exactly right and what's exactly wrong. And because of this thing you know more, you understand more, and that. Okay, so instead of rely on someone, this is my opinion, by the way. Am I wrong? You might consider wrong, or maybe you might consider right. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that thing, but this is just my opinion. Okay, yeah. And specifically from YouTube point of perspective, in other point of perspective, like a building application or kind of like a doing something or building a movie or things and that, in that situation, there is a lot of things, because when you kind of like a not only put the effort but as well as kind of like a financial thing, then in that situation your feedback or kind of like a somebody, you need to seek for such a people who are kind of like a really expert in that thing and get the feedback from those people, then it would be kind of like a really good, because making a YouTube video doesn't really cost you anything at all, but making a movie or making an application is cost you something, because it does not really include just the effort but includes money, and you don't want to kind of like spend money on such a thing that might gonna fail. You need a kind of like a someone opinion and feedback and things and that. So in that situation, obviously seek for someone else, someone help, or seek from feedback from people who are really expert in that thing and that. But trust, believe in yourself too. Okay, trust your instinct and kind of like a, yeah, try to kind of like a, it depends on you how do you supposed to be kind of like a something manipulate that thing. Okay, regarding about your opinion, other people opinion and things and that, or sometime you just do it. Okay, because in the end, kind of like a people kind of like a remember by the effort that you put or what you did. Okay, it's not like if you're just kind of like simply focus on try to, you will not gonna be perfect. One thing, you will not gonna be perfect at the first time, you will not gonna make perfect video at the beginning, you will not gonna make a perfect application at the first time, you will not gonna make anything perfect at the beginning, definitely not. You will not gonna make anything perfect at all, so understand that thing. Okay, yeah. Also, you will not gonna do sex at the first time. Sorry, you will not gonna do perfect sex at the first time, because when you do anything first time, it's not good, and accept that thing. It's this is a kind of like a nature's law. You have to be learn some sort of things and that. All right. So probably sometimes it's essential to just do the work instead of kind of like a somebody just like a. I believe that key invention come first, innovation come later. Is it right? Like invention come first, upgrade came later. This would be kind of like a much more better. Invention come first, upgrade or innovation is a kind of like a same thing. No, innovation and invention is a kind of like the same thing. Innovation come first, upgrade came later. So innovate first, upgrade later. Focus on that. Okay, this would be kind of like a much more better. All right, this is it. This end.